So today somebody sent me a haunted mirror story. Haunted freaking mirror story. Let's go. In the fall of 2008, a woman named Sarah bought an old mirror at an estate sale in upstate New York. She said she had never seen a mirror like this before. The mirror had been tucked in a corner, its surface cloudy, almost as if it had a film over it. But when Sarah saw this thing, she knew she had to have it. The auctioneer barely glanced at it, said lot 47, antique mirror sold as is. Sarah raised her hand, paid $50 for it, just like that. And at first, it was just a plain old mirror. She hung it in her living room right in the spot where her last mirror had been before she had accidentally broken the thing. Go figure. Every time she walks by this mirror, though, her eyes were immediately drawn to it, the same way they were drawn to it when she was at the estate sale. And then one night, the whispers started. One night while sitting alone on the couch watching television, she thought she heard soft whispers beneath the show's dialogue. She switched the television off completely, plunging the room into total silence, and it was, save for that low whisper. She gets up off the couch and follows the sound slowly across the room until she was standing right in front of that old mirror hanging on the wall. Facing the old mirror hanging on the wall, her fuzzy reflection stares right back at her, and it was a familiar sight, her own eyes, her own face. But deep in the corner of the glass, she noticed a faint blur. Thinking it was just a smudge on the mirror that she had improperly cleaned, she reached out and rubbed the spot with her sleeve, but the blur moved away. It slipped away from her touch as though it was alive, moving deeper into the mirror's edges. When she saw the movement in the mirror, her heart quickened. The whispers began to grow louder. She stared harder at the reflection, focusing now on her own face. But now, something there wasn't right. Her reflection stares back at her, mirroring her movements as a normal mirror would. But she noticed that there was a subtle yet undeniable delay, as though her reflection struggled to keep pace with her own movements. And that's when she noticed the eyes. They were no longer her eyes. They were black, empty. She steps back, breath frozen in her chest, but the reflection stayed still, watching her, seemingly whispering the words that she couldn't freaking understand. The woman in the mirror was her, and yet it wasn't her. Looking back on it, she says she has no idea what came over her. She should have been terrified, but she wasn't. Immediately, a calm came upon her. She walks into the other room, retrieves a sheet from the laundry room, comes back and just covers the mirror. And she left it like that for 3 days. 3 freaking days. But after 3 sleepless nights, she decided that she had had enough. The mirror could not stay hung up in her living room. She made her decision and took the mirror down. She dragged it to the attic. She shoved it back deep into the shadows behind all the boxes in her attic. And for a brief moment, she felt relief. But the whispers didn't fade at all. They followed her everywhere. And it became clear that the thing that was trapped inside the mirror wanted something of her. Something was trapped inside the mirror, and it wanted her to break the mirror, to set whatever was inside free. Months passed and the mirror sat silently hidden in the attic. Sarah tried desperately to forget the thing, convincing herself that it was nothing more than an old piece of junk. Cursed, perhaps, inhabited by a spirit, probably. A demon? Absolutely. But in her mind, it was harmless, as long as she kept her distance from it. Yet, deep down, she knew better. And the whispers were starting to grow quiet over the passing of the days, but they were never truly gone. Weeks later, on a Saturday afternoon, Sarah's friend Claire had come to stay with her for a few days. Her friend was upstairs taking a nap while Sarah was in the kitchen chopping up vegetables for soup, when over the normal sounds of the kitchen, a blood-curdling scream and a crash was heard coming from the upstairs. Her heart stopped. She knew, even before she dropped the knife and ran for the stairs, she knew what she was going to find. When Sarah reached the attic, the scene was in complete chaos. The sheet was on the floor. The mirror was scattered everywhere. And Claire was crouched in the corner, her face pale, her hands trembling. "What happened?" Sarah asked her. Claire looks up and sees her eyes wide with terror. "I saw it. It was me. It was me, but it wasn't me. It was all wrong. It was so wrong." She just kept repeating it over and over again. Claire had woken from her nap and decided to help Sarah by organizing her attic. She later recalls that she has no idea what made her decide to do that. She said that she thought it was talking to her when she uncovered it and saw the reflection. She did exactly what it said to do and smashed the mirror onto the floor. Sarah grabs a broom and just starts sweeping the broken glass from the mirror up. She could not stop her hands from shaking, not knowing what to expect. The whispers, they were gone now. That much is clear. But as she tossed the last of the shards into the trash, she couldn't shake the feeling that the thing in the mirror wasn't really gone. Thinking this was just the beginning, she braced herself for what was coming next. But this isn't a movie. This isn't a horror story. This isn't a story where the haunting just keeps getting worse until you have to call an old priest and a young priest in, or maybe a husband and wife couple that can come in and cleanse the house and maybe years later make a movie out of it. No, there was no continued haunting. The voices, they stopped. With the breaking of the mirror, they were gone. A couple days go by, and she found herself half tempted to keep the frame and just replace the mirror. But just as that thought had come into her mind, she suddenly finds herself outside looking down at what was left of that burning frame. At some point, she picked it up, took it outside, and burnt it. She has no recollection of her doing that. She tells me that after that day, she looked at mirrors differently. She wasn't afraid of them, although I freaking would be. She looked at them as if they were not reflections of her own world, but a window into another world entirely. Holy crap. So this is what I want you to do. Next time you go look at a mirror, I want you to look at yourself and ask, is that really you looking back? Damn it, man.